All
Awesome.
right, Eric.
Morning, Nick.
Morning.
Hey, how you doing? It's been a little while.
It's been too long. We had the holiday break in between. Well, I don't know if you call it a break, but we certainly it's been about a month or so since we've done one of these. So happy to be back on.
Awesome. Yeah. What have you been up to with yourself?
Well, we have because of course of the holidays and with two young girls, we're enjoying the holidays a little bit differently, I'd say. Trying to slow them down a little bit more than we used to do racing around, trying to see a bunch of people. We're more focused on the core group, I'd say. But so it was a great holiday season, but we're back into work and everything's just coming at us crazy. There's so much going on that you know, we're just trying to keep a lid on and we're doing a great job of that as a team. So happy to be back in the saddle after the holidays. How about yourself?
Are you a real tree guy or fake tree?
We're a real tree. We're a
Okay.
real tree. Yeah, we've got a couple places down here. One of them is he actually trucks his trees in from Michigan. He's place is called the Michigan Tree Guy. So he trucks them in here. I didn't get my tree there. I just went to the good old fashioned Home Depot. But I thought it was pretty cool that this guy trucks them in um, from some specific spot in Michigan. So how about
Wow.
yourself?
Right now, real tree, but I think next year is the last year for that.
Oh no. How come? What makes the change?
Probably the last year that the kids are really engaged from a Christmas perspective because they're all older now. So,
Yep.
um, it's I think we enjoy the whole tree and Christmas, but maybe something that's a little easier to manage.
I I think the real trees are actually easier.
You think?
Oh, yeah. You pick it up, you throw it in the back of the pickup, you bring it home, you throw it in the stand. When you're done, take the ornaments off, throw it on the curb. You're not taking the pieces apart, trying to fit them, jigsaw them together to get in a box again. You're bungee cording the box and you're trying to put the box in the rafters.
Well, there's that, but there's the environmental aspect too. I
Okay.
was thinking maybe a planted tree where you kind of bring it in and out. That's a whole thing, but I don't
Well,
know.
we'll hear about this next year, what you decide to do. We'll put a pin in it and you can update us next Christmas. Okay, well, since we got a short amount of time, I'm kind of curious to kick some things off. We talked about the Christmas trees, but there was one other activity you did over the
Yes.
Christmas break that you made public, was roasting some coffee beans. Now we
Oh
know
yeah.
you're into this. You've brought this up before. This is not a new hobby or activity, but I think everybody's curious to know. Well, we saw in the video, but what was the outcome? Was it good? Did the house smell like burnt popcorn? How did it turn
No,
out?
it was good. Had it underneath the hood, so all
Mhm.
that got sucked out. But got a surprise Christmas gift of a coffee roaster. And like this is a legit roaster where it'll do I think it does about maybe a half a pound at a time,
Oh,
something like
wow.
that, and it collects the chaff so you don't have the chaff blowing all over the place. It takes about a half hour to roast it. It's got a bit of a cooler built in, so it's legit. It's been pretty good. Made some really good coffee with it. I opened that up the night before, so Christmas morning had roasted beans already and had coffee ready to go. It was pretty good.
So this is a set it and forget it device. You can
Well,
put the
kind of. You set it, it rotates, it roasts the beans, but you gotta keep an eye on it because it's, if something were to happen, you wanna be right there, and I think it beeps, like, every 10 minutes, you gotta turn the alarm off so it knows that you're standing there.
got it. So it can get a little
Safety
squirrely, so
first.
you gotta man it. You
That's
gotta
it.
keep an eye on it, okay. Well, I did also get we had the Secret Santa, as you know.
Mm,
I
mhm.
got got a grinder, so I think the next step for me is gonna be to try to do the roasting steps, but the grinder's been awesome. It's been very tedious just because my oldest daughter, which is barely 3, she wants to be involved, so she's putting the beans in one by one, and so it takes forever. Instead of just dumping them in there and grinding it, she's like putting them in
Mm,
there.
mm.
So that's a whole thing, but it's good. Um,
Nice. Uh,
anything else over Christmas you wanna?
no, I think that's it.
We're into January. We're ready to go.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
we're we're moving on. Um, I think for me, what I was most looking forward to talking about was I think the company's endeavors into the team strengths.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So we did the Kolbe, we did the paper, and then most recently we did the Clifton Strengths. Do you want to jump in on Eric? Why that was so important for you to move the organization into that direction?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it, it- I'm in strategic coach, which is Dan Sullivan's organization. It's a business coaching organization, and when I joined that a couple of years ago, they have you go through a couple of those exercises that you mentioned. So, the Colby exercise, and these are all assessments that you take to really understands how you operate and how others operate. Um, really, kind of your unconscious motivators, for example. So we did first. We did the Colby, and we got some pretty good results out of that. People started to understand what makes them tick, and then we did print, which is the capital PRINT, and the print really gets behind the motivators and triggers for the team, and then on the Clifton Strength side, really getting into how people naturally contribute and lead. So those three kind of round out, give a 360 of us as individuals, and then how we work together as a team. And it's pretty cool because you can take if you're going to work on a project with other folks that have gone through the assessments, then you can kind of understand who's going to be good in what role. And if you are working with people that maybe haven't been exposed to it before, you can share with them how you work and how you're motivated, and it just gives them a little bit of insight into who you are.
Yeah, I think I was looking for the word, like it's like decoding the team. And
Yeah.
especially, depends on the size of your organization, but I think we get so wrapped up in, somebody's title.
Mm,
So depending on your title, you automatically need to work on a project, right?
mm,
So instead of looking at it internally, looking at, maybe you have a group of 5 or 10 people or whoever it is, depending on the size of your organization, that, maybe you don't need all these people with just high level titles to work on a
mm,
project because you have everybody that could, every piece of the puzzle within, right?
mm,
People that you might not even thought about that you could put on this project that will all work well together, that will
mhm,
streamline a process, but we wouldn't know that unless we did this process. And, when we were first starting this, I had never done one before, so I guess I wasn't sure what to expect. Um, and when I'm taking these quizzes, I'm like, "What are these questions?" Like
mhm,
some of them are like, "Wow!" Like kind of like I don't want to say brain busters, but you're like, "Wow, what do I really think?" Like how do or forcing yourself to answer the question actually as me, not maybe what I think. Like how should I answer that question versus how do I really feel about that question?
mhm,
And
mhm,
I think the Clifton Strengths one, that was a long test. I think it was like 100 questions, but I think I resonated with all of them. I think it was almost to a T. So
mm,
you take the quiz, right? You get through it, and then you get a report. And then you're going through the report, and it's like, wow, I never thought about it that way. I can see that I do those things. So they all actually lined up very closely for me. So then after the first one, which you said was Colby, I was like, wow, I'm kind of a believer in this now. Then you
mhm,
take the follow on, the 2 other ones we did, and, most recently, Clifton Strengths, to see, how we fit together as a team. So it's been a pretty cool exercise, and I've already encouraged, some other, colleagues around the industry, let's say, to to look into it,
Mm,
just as and it's also kind of a team building exercise,
mhm.
a camaraderie, a collaboration tool. People get together, and there's no right or wrong answer after you get these quizzes. It's just who are you, and then you kind of see, I see why you and I work so well together, or why we naturally gravitate to each other. And I think for me, it's strengthened one of the bonds at IT Audit Labs, just seeing um, how aligned really we are. So it's been I've welcomed the process. I think most people have. It's been cool to see, how it's been going so far, even though it is relatively new here. But anything
What
else you
was
wanted
your
to go ahead?
on your Clifton, do you remember what yours were?
I'll have to bring it up. Should have had it ready. I should have had it ready live. Do you have yours?
I got mine, yeah, so
Oh,
I've
here they
got,
are. Go ahead.
yeah, so strategic, ideation, maximizer, futuristic, and intellection.
Those are your top five.
Those are my top 5.
Mine are responsibility, realtor, adaptability, belief, and positivity.
Alright. That
I'm a
sounds like
positive
you.
guy. I'm a
That
positive
sounds
guy.
like
So
you.
there's the top 10 markers, and then you have the list of there's another 30, or sorry, 25 or so extra ones on there. Um,
Yeah, I
so
think
we're
there's
so
34 total, and then
34
you
total.
you can do the top 5 report or you can do all 34. We did all 34 just so we could see kinda what's up at the top and then what are some areas
Right.
we don't put a lot of energy into. So, yeah, it's cool. Looking forward to that for the year,
Yep.
working with the team on it, and, we should have the person that did our Kolbe come in and, maybe have her on field notes and kinda break this whole thing down. That might be fun.
That would be fun. I've worked with her a couple times after we took it, and diving deeper with her on this, just because I became so interested. I think I looked at my results much deeper, in a much different way than I would have if I just took the quiz and then, ingested the
Mhm.
information and then moved about. But since we spent a little extra time on it, there's been a little bit of a shift in how I might go about my day. But I'm still looking at the CliftonStrengths here. And then off to the right of, those markers, it says you lead with relationship building is like the top
Mm.
part. They're just different to, see. It's This is the only true way to kind of look under the hood, right? You take
Yeah.
your car to the mechanic, you see what kind of engines under the hood. But here this is how yeah, I guess we can see how everybody in the organization, actually works or functions or wants to work, right? How you
Mhm.
maybe you want to do more research first, as we've seen. Maybe you want a more clear path. You're not good with creating a process. So, but we have people that create process, so we'll send them out to do that. And the people that are really good at following a process and making things run very smoothly, you can send them in after, so we can be very strategic about it. So that's cool. I think we could go on and on about this. So I think we should definitely have her come on
Yeah.
and
It's,
chat.
it is something that, I'm being more intentional about in 26, and, one of those is just really being more
Mhm.
protective of my time so I can focus on the areas that I'm good at. And Nick, we get wrapped up in a lot of meetings and a lot of those
Tons.
meetings, and, it's kind of a waste of time. So I'm
Mhm.
stepping back from meetings, and I'm only gonna attend if I really need to be there because sometimes you join these meetings and somebody's just rattling off a stream of consciousness for 30 minutes. Like, why am I even here? So,
Yeah.
really being intentional about time. And I think bringing that to our organization as a whole, and making sure that, we're coming in, we've got an agenda. We're really intentional about the time together.
Mhm.
I don't need to sit through a project update if it's something that I could have read in an email, right? And
Right.
leveraging tools, AI, automation, agents, what have you, where somebody who may be more of a talker does need to get that out, but they could get that out in a fashion that AI is going to process it, synthesize it, and produce, something that's really crisp that others can reflect on in their own time.
Yeah, a meeting that could have been an email. The what I've been doing is, and I think this is always going to be this way with the LLMs. We're going to have our favorites. The flavor will change throughout
Mhm.
the year. If we would have been having this conversation even 2 months ago, I would have told you Claude is my number one. My number one has shifted. Breaking news. It is now my favorite right now today is Gemini.
Okay.
And Gemini is I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain why I think it's my favorite, but the reason I brought it up is because what you were just talking about is, like, being more intentional and, like, being more intentional with your time to, like, send an email versus call a meeting. So, you can use an AI tool like Gemini, like the stream of consciousness to have that conversation, and it can put it into a bullet point. Boom, you put it in an email, you send it off. But I think the way that we're doing things at IT Audit Labs is what you said of being more intentional is you've made it possible for people just to make a decision. Like we don't need to have a fifth meeting about a tool or something like that. If you guys feel strongly about it and this is what we need to solve the problem, just get it and go. And if we need to make an adjustment down the road, um, we'll do so. But that's good piece of advice to be more intentional. We can't always take less meetings, but we can certainly try. All
So, Nick,
right. Yeah,
switching gears on you, right?
I
Let's
know.
say
Switch them up.
you're going into a new account.
Oh boy.
Um, and you're kind of week one in there. What are you doing? What is your go-to kind of repertoire of what's the tool that you're going to bring in or process, or what are you going to do to kind of help
Yeah.
this organization through an inflection point?
I was thinking about this question last night for a while. Again, I was up like 3 times last night with our youngest baby, feeding her a bottle, so I had a lot of time to think about this overnight. I could answer this question multiple different ways. I could take the easy route, hit the easy button, and say we're bringing Palo in, we're getting the XDR set up, we're going the whole EDR route, XDR route. But I was thinking to myself, I'm kind of more of an auditor by trade in the field here. So do I want? And we were meeting with a client yesterday, and we're talking about Varonis.
Mm,
And I was like, do I want to take a more unconventional route with this question and bring in Varonis so we can
mm,
pull back the hood, get our files all in place? Because a lot of these organizations that we're working with, and I know you didn't specifically ask about the organizations we're working with, but for sake of argument, that's where I'm putting this is meet compliance or a government organization. They've got HIPAA, CGIS, PCI, FTI, the whole thing. CMMC,
that's a lot of acronyms.
I know. It's too much. It really is too much. CUI, we get the whole thing. So I think I'm gonna just have a little bit more fun with this question instead of going like EDR, or like Proofpoint or something like that. And we're gonna go with Varonis and we're gonna pull back the hood.
Mm.
We're gonna get all the files. We're gonna get everything under control. We're gonna figure out where your data is, what data you have. We're gonna figure out how we're gonna tackle compliance and or we're gonna remain in compliance. I was kind of thinking I kind of wanted to answer it a different way than conventionally. So I think I'm going to go with Varonis, and then we'll move
Mm.
on and get everything else under control. Because I knew you'd go more technical, so I was like, I'll go a different route than Eric's going to go.
What route did you think I'm going?
You're going to go email security, I think, first, and
I
then
do like
or
email security.
EDR.
I do like email security, EDR kind of, yeah, that's a good no-brainer. Question though, does the organization already have MFA?
I thought about this last night too. I was like, do I just go hardware tokens and hardware MFA and just say we're implementing YubiKeys right away?
Hmm.
So I did think about that. Let's say they don't have MFA.
Oh, you got to do MFA first. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to do
Yeah,
that.
there's no question about it. You gotta do MFA first, before you do anything else. It's crazy to me. I think why I'm looking off on the side here and shaking my head is because to think in now 2026, we're still having the conversation that an organization doesn't have MFA is wild. It's truly wild. So we're skipping the standard MFA, and to me, it's like you got to get YubiKeys. Um, in
You're
there, you got to
going
get
all
some
in.
sort of MFA, but I would love to just right off the bat rip it off and get some YubiKeys.
Okay. Awesome.
Are
Cool.
you a fan of YubiKeys, Eric?
Sure. I like the YubiKey. Uh, no issue with the YubiKey. I think just the standard MFA to start, just to get
Yeah.
people um, something and reduce the friction, reduce the complexity
Hmm.
is great. But then, yeah, certainly YubiKeys or CAT cards.
Yeah.
The You'll notice on some laptops they have the slot on the side, but you know,
Hmm.
just about any federal government organization has mandated CAC cards, which I think Google, I think they all use a form of YubiKey, and so if those big organizations are doing that, it's important, and it's probably saved millions, if not billions, of dollars of issues
Sure.
just because they took the path of this is how we're going to do it. It's
Hmm.
we're not going to argue about it. It's just this is the way it is. When you work here, you get this access card, and this is how you access your equipment. Which I really love that because it's dead simple, and it's just like this is how we do business. And if more organizations did that, we'd have a lot less problems.
Yeah, and not only from a security standpoint, but it probably taking a lot of stress off of your service desk,
Mm,
right? Because you're not getting the annoying password resets, tickets, right?
mm,
Somebody can't log in, they're calling you at 3 a.m. because they randomly have to check their email. Um, but yeah, we used the cat cards when I was in the military, and this was 2007, 2008, during that time. And we were using cat cards then, and every computer you went to, um, you had to drop, there was a little slot in the keyboard that you
mhm.
had to drop it into. Or as you mentioned on the side of the laptop, you stick into the side. So that wasn't super, super long ago, 15 plus years, but um, we're, like I said before, we're still having the conversation now. People aren't using MFA. So, if we're wheeling it back to the beginning of the question, yeah, MFA is kind of the no brainer if they didn't have it. I guess assuming they did, that would be best case. But yeah. All right. I think we're kind of bumping up against the end here. Is there anything else you want to chat about, Eric? Any
No,
flight goals for this year, 26?
I wanna get up a little bit more than I did
Okay.
last year, so, I do have that goal, and I wanna get my glider license this year.
Oh yeah, you
I've been
mentioned that.
last couple of years, I've been messing around with it, but, it's really hard to book time with the glider and the instructor because the time just fills up, and then maybe you have a weather day and you can't go.
Oh, sure.
Um, so I do wanna get that done. I probably need about another 10 hours or so in it, and then take the check ride and all of that. And then when you come down, you and I can go up.
Yeah. I'll I'll stay down and get some cool pictures. But honestly, what was the we talked about it a couple episodes ago. The glider, not the glider, it's got the parachute and the fan propeller fan on the back of you. You can wear it as a backpack or a seat.
Oh, the ultralight.
Ultralight, yeah.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
chance
I,
that
I,
you're gonna
I
be
would
doing that?
I would love to do that, but it it's maybe just a hair too risky
Oh,
for
really?
me right now. Yeah,
So
I
that
would.
is, like, dangerous, you
Uh,
think?
th I think I mean, they are dangerous, right? Because you have a wing or an airfoil that,
Right.
can potentially collapse, right? It's not rigid because
Mhm.
you can inflate the leading
Oh,
edge, I think,
sure.
with air, but, if, say, you turned, maybe you're going downwind, you turn upwind, and
Mhm.
there was, gust of wind or something, you could have that wing collapse on you, and if that wing collapses and you're too low, you can't pull the reserve. It's going to be a bad day. And I'm not saying that you can't learn to appropriately fly the ultralight because there's thousands of people that do, and I don't think they're super dangerous, but for me right now, um, it's not the smart decision to do, even though I would love to just be, 50 feet over the river just
Yeah,
cruising, right? I mean,
we
it sounds
need
awesome.
we need Eric around, we gotta keep him around. No ultralights for in this future.
No
I saw
ultralights.
I saw a video on social media, I think it was last week, and it was in Florida, and there was a helicopter taking off a pad, it looked like it was floating,
Sure.
and there was another helicopter right here, and the helicopter coming off the pad smacked in to the one.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'll have to find it and send it to you.
ooh.
But it looked like a scary situation. I don't know if anybody died, they weren't that high off the ground. I mean, relative, to maybe where they were going, they were maybe 30 to 50 feet off the ground, looks like they had just come up, so I don't think anybody was, fatally injured or anything like that, but, scary to see nonetheless. Anything else, closing remarks for the people, Eric, before they get their days going?
No, that's it. Let's get back on here soon, though.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, Eric, thanks again.